As you probably know from my first video, I did a mod for the conversion kit and tested it with the stock gun. In this video I'm going to add the tuning barrel, do some testing, and then install the Power Kit 50 and do again all tests, and then I will deliver a final energy boost by both modding the gun in different variations and my conversion kit mod. So first I disassembled the gun, loosened all screws and took out the original barrel. For this you have to unmount the spring of the mag holder, and then you can pull out the barrel easily. It's unbelievable how light the original barrel is and how heavy the tuning barrel is in comparison, so you really feel the quality you're installing. Simply push the barrel in and then add the mag holder again. In the first step I'm only installing the tuning barrel because I want to see how it affects the performance of the gun and the performance of conversion kit and the conversion kit with my mod. So next step is to screw everything together, and here we go. After installing the tuning barrel, I tried to mount the gun into the conversion kit, but with the cap of the tuning barrel wasn't enough clearance, so I screwed it off and tried it again, and then it fits really perfect. I also checked if the pipe doesn't go into the barrel of the gun now. Without the end cap, the HDR or NXG fitted perfectly into the conversion kit, leaving no clearance, so I didn't have to design any part closing a possible gap. After that, I mounted the screws for holding the gun in the conversion kit. When I tried to install my mod afterwards, I recognized that the barrel is now a bit longer than before, but no problem. I switched to Tinkercad and made the existing front piece a bit longer so that its thread would reach the thread of the conversion kit. After printing the piece, the mod was ready to install. And of course I had to try it. Conversion kit with tuning barrel, only with tuning barrel, and my mod. After testing the different variations only with the tuning barrel, I went on with the other mods, the power kit for the HDR from Home Defense 24 and to remove the valve block. First I had to unscrew the inner life of the gun and to disassemble it. Be careful when opening up the inner system, because otherwise the trigger group will come loose, springs will fly around, and you have a lot of work to do to find everything and build it again like it should be. I'll link you a video in the description below where someone shows the process of reassembling the trigger group, which is really valuable if it happens to you. First, you have to remove the pressure chamber with the piston. Be really careful because the spring is really strong. After removing the piston, you have to install the new valve pin into the piston. And this is where things went south the first time in this mod. The material of the original pin is very soft, and it's also glued into place, so you have to heat it and use the right screwdriver to get it out. And well, I didn't know that before. After trying it for too long time, I choose to use wire lengths, took my drill and simply drilled it out. And well, that worked much better than I thought. I've cleaned the piston with a towel and a magnet to get all the fine metal parts of the original pin of the piston, and afterwards I gave it a spray again. In general, you should use the chance of the disassembled gun to do some maintenance and like oiling or spraying the inside of the gun. Before installing the new valve pin, I screwed it into the piston from the outside to check if the threads are still okay or have damaged anything. Luckily, everything was okay, so I installed the valve pin on the correct side, the inside of the piston. Now it's time to take out the restrictor block. Simply take some very pointy pliers and screw off the backside of the gas block. When you've opened the backside, you see this metal piece in here with an U shape, which is the restrictor. And this has to come out. So there is a bit more gas in the chamber for shooting harder. Simply insert a screwdriver and hit it on the back, and this part will come off. Be sure to do this before reassembling the gun, because you have to have access from the inside. Now comes the most dangerous part, remounting the gas block with the piston on it and getting this damn spring into place. Because if you're not cautious, shit will happen. And well, in this take, it didn't happen. But as I have to take it apart again because I forgot to hammer out the restrictor, which was the part I showed you before to keep the correct order of steps while applying this mod. Anyway, I did it the wrong order and had to open the gun again for taking out the restrictor, and then it happened. The spring snapped and everything was flying around. I had a long search for all of the springs, and also it was a hell of a job to reassemble everything. So I will link you the best video I found in the description below. Thanks again to this guy. I'm not sure if I would have reassembled the gun correctly if I hadn't had his great video. The camera wasn't running the second time because I simply forgot to start it, and perhaps it was better because my swearing was so bad. Anyway, I'll link you the video to the full trigger group assembly in the description below. Thanks again to the guy who made it. It really saved my gun. Now try if trigger and mag feeder work as intended. I reassembled the gun and then I went on testing. I tried plenty of shots, and here in these tables I summarized the results. Setups like the stock gun with pistol only conversion kit or conversion kit with my mod. And as you see, it's a steady increase of power through all the stages, leading to the most powerful with the full tuned gun and the conversion kit, including my mod, with a maximum of 32 joules. One interesting thing I noticed is the use of coated steel balls. While it increases the energy of the stock gun by 3 joules just by swapping out the ammunition, it was the ammunition that didn't react a lot to my own mod in the conversion kit with the stock gun. And I think it's because of the friction that the balls have, which cannot be overcome by the low energy of the stock gun. But if you really full tune the gun, they are also the ammunition that puts out the most power. So I think that the weight of 5 gram is a sweet spot between too light ammunition like the rubber balls or very heavy ammunition like the steel balls, which I ordered afterwards from Home Defense 24. They were really underperforming my estimations, in opposite to the aluminum balls, which surprised me in a positive way despite their light weight. The next thing I recognize is that the first mag is always the strongest, and from the, I say, eighth or ninth shot, the power will decrease by 5 to 10% until the end of the mag. And with the restrictor block removed, this leads to a power loss of 30%. So you can only fire 2 mags and the gun is empty or just not delivering anymore. Last but not least, I want to show you the damage that the shots did to the box and the towel. But keep in mind, none of the shots reached the cheap cardboard chair from IKEA I used as a backup. And that's the problem I have with these guns, being advertised as self-defense tool in countries like Germany with ridiculous 7.5 joule. I think that's grossly negligent. Despite the fact that the optic and the sound could scare attackers away, a 7.5 joule shot to anywhere but the face will stop nobody, at least nobody with a serious motivation. Impact rounds with 25 to 30 joule will trigger a much stronger reaction, can crack bones, slow people down, or can be fatal when shot to the head. So of course it's powerful, but does it deliver enough power, especially with these big rounds? Shots to exposed body parts will give an advantage, for example for fleeing or in an infight as a weak spot to hit. But a thick jacket or a leather jacket with a thicker sweater underneath will neutralize most of the power, and in an intruder situation there could be a setup where the first or second shot has to be a lucky punch, and I'm not sure if I want to rely on that. Causing pain will probably increase the risk and amount of violence by the attacker. I did some kickboxing, and for example, low kicks can hurt as hell. And if you get one in training or while comradely messing around, these really hurt and you don't want to get another. But in sparring or fighting, you take a couple of them and it doesn't stop you in the first instance from fighting. Depending on the country, there is also a legal aspect. First of all, I'm no jurist, judge, or attorney, so this is no legal advice. I will only give my personal opinion based on cases and texts I read. But in my country, these are dedicated paintball markers for shooting paintballs. Even pepper balls are not allowed to use with these guns, but pepper sprays are. Causing an injury or disability with something like steel balls or killer spikes could easily have a juridical consequence, especially because they are not allowed to use with these guns. Probably I'd be safer to use a shotgun I can legally own and use some rubber birdshot if the situation escalates, which is juristically more approved and also more effective. Because of using a declared home defense tool, the shotgun with rubber shotwell, so non-lethal ammo, but with a much higher energy output. I'm sorry if my opinion does not comply with someone's expectations. But what are your thoughts on this topic? Just leave a comment below and perhaps we get some interesting discussions or insights. As you see, I did not mod the gun for self-defense but simply for the fun of doing so and having more stability and power while blinking. And this is where it shines. As always, I link you all the things and tools I used in the description below, as well as the link to the STL files. Thank you for watching, and I appreciate everyone liking the video or subscribing my channel. Have fun making.